This is chaotic. You've got to be kidding me. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about this. Am I mad about this? Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney. Today we're going to be chatting about the 11 books that I read in January, as well as playing my Spin the Bottle TBR game for February. These are all the 11 books that I read in January. They're freaking heavy. Some of them are really long. And you're probably wondering why I'm not splitting up my wrap up and my TBR into separate videos. And that's because, one, I'm gonna do a YouTube short kind of giving like rapid fire reviews of all 11 of them. And two, because a lot of them are actually in a singular reading vlog where I read Booktuber's best books of 2023, which I will link down below because it's like my favorite video. It is one of my favorite videos ever to film and do. So I had a lot of fun with it. We're gonna do a rapid fire, just like this is the book that I read. This is my star rating, and if it fulfilled a prompt for last month's Spin the Bottle game, I'll let you know. The first book that I read all year was actually A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I gave this one 4 stars. I liked the atmosphere and the writing, but when problems arose in this story, I felt like the resolutions came way too easily and quickly for the main characters. I wanted there to be a little bit more struggle, but the overall story and plot was a great idea. I had fun. I also read Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This was actually the buddy read pick for my book club over in my Patreon, which is the Greenhouse. So I did an exclusive reading vlog for this one for my patrons, and I had a good time with it. It was a solid 3-star read until the last like 50 pages. And then it felt like the author like really actually found out what she wanted to be saying throughout the entire book. The last 50 pages were phenomenal. I did shed a tear or two, but up until that point, it was a little bit meandery and it didn't really feel like it needed to be this long. So I ended up giving this one a 3.5, maybe a 4-star on a really good day, but solid 3.5. Then I finished the Throne of Glass series, which is really exciting. I read the tandem read of Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn, and then finished it off with Kingdom of Ash. The tandem read was probably the most fun that I had while reading this series. I tabbed at the top of the pages where I was supposed to switch to the other book and so on and so forth, and it was just a really fun reading experience. I had a great time. And then Kingdom of Ash, like I liked it. It was fine. I think everyone hypes this book up so much that I was expecting to be way more devastated than I really was. There's really only one part within this book that I was actually like a little bit distraught over, but other than that, like it was good. It was fine. The specific thoughts that I have are spoilery, so I'm not gonna go into it, but I ended up doing like, I don't know, I feel like this whole series is like a 4-star series for me. At no point was I ever like really bored, but at no point was I ever like, this is my whole personality. Other than Crown of Midnight, I really loved that one in particular, but everything else was like, good, I guess. Then the last 6 books are all of the books that I mentioned that are in that Reading Booktuber's Best Books of 2023 video, and they are as follows. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, gave it a solid 4 stars. Plot twists were just a little bit predictable to me, but I loved the writing and everything that R.F. Kuang was able to do within the plot. Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I don't know why that book had me in such a chokehold. Like, I read it in one sitting, and it's like a 500-page book. It's a solid 4-star because the world building was a little bit weak, as well as the character development. Felt like I didn't really understand the world itself, as well as like the motivations of every single character. I just feel like there could have been a little bit more of a deep dive within both of those things. Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. I loved it. Like 4.5 stars. It's a story about the victims or the women involved within the Ted Bundy case, and the writing was just one of my favorites. I loved it. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Madana. 4.5, 5 stars. Loved it. Grumpy Sunshine, witchy, cozy romance, and I just loved it. Loved the messages, loved the conversations, loved the characters. Monstrilio by Gerardo Sermano Cordova. Amazing debut. Really surprised that it's his debut because it is a phenomenal story. Loved all of the different point of views. Loved the horror elements. I loved the conversations around grief. It's a solid book. 5 stars. And then The Will of the Many. So good. 5 stars. Amazing fantasy book. World building's amazing. The characters I feel so close to already, and I cannot wait to continue because by the end, it got so twisty and so wild. I can't wait. I haven't stopped thinking about this world, actually. By the way, Remarkably Bright Creatures covered a reading prompt that I got that was read a book that's for a reading vlog. This was the exclusive reading vlog that I mentioned that I did. Irregular Witches was chosen because I had a heads versus tail prompt, and this is the one that won in the coin toss. And then I had 2 tarot picks. One of them was like read a high fantasy or read a book by an author that writes high fantasy, and that was Will of the Many by James Islington. The other tarot space was the Sun card, and it meant read a sequel, and I ended up choosing Kingdom of Ash for that one. And then the final prompt was Instagram chooses, which I put The Writing Retreat and Bright Young Woman up against each other, and Bright Young Women won, so I read it. So believe it or not, we actually not only read a shit ton of pages last month, but we also completed our Spin the Bottle TBR. Thank you. Thank you. And if you remember from last month, I explained the new rules for my reward and punishment system. If I complete the spin the bottle TBR with my original choices, then I get to pick out of my jar. And then if I complete my spins, but I had to swap out a couple books, then that's just the neutral zone. Nothing happens. And then the punishment portion would be if I didn't complete anything, if I just failed. But this month I completed my original spin the bottle TBR, which is really exciting. A great way to start the year off strong. So I'm going to take out these punishment prompts and I'm going to choose a reward prompt. And there are actually some new ones in here too. So I'm trying to mix them up and then I will pick whichever one. Some of them are a little bit minor and some of them could really help us in the future. Okay, this one is a classic. It's a little bit worn because I think I've chosen it quite a few times. This one is take away a +1 spin. So that means if I land on the +1 bottle space, then I don't have to do it if I don't want to do it. So we'll keep this handy whilst we play the game today, and these reward prompts do roll over to the next months for the whole year. So we'll see when I get to use it. So without further ado, we can get on into the game and go on to spin number 1. Spin number 1, we got a prompt that we got last month. I promise I shuffle them thoroughly every month, but we got read a book for a reading vlog. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing that I did last month, and that is choose the buddy read pick for my Patreon book club. And this month, the buddy read is The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. A little bit of a backlist. I'm really excited about it. There have been really mixed reviews about it, but I am just so unbelievably obsessed with this cover that it means it has to be good, right? Like my brain is like drawn to this so hard that I'm bound to have a good time. And this one says, it is a highly imaginative thriller about a young woman who discovers that a strange map in her deceased father's belongings holds an incredible, deadly secret, one that will lead her on an extraordinary adventure and to the truth about her family's dark history. It's an ode to art and science, history and magic, a spectacularly imaginative modern story about an ancient craft and places still undiscovered. I think that it sounds really good. Now, I have heard that the synopsis doesn't really do it justice or something like that. Like what it says that it's about isn't exactly what it's about, or something doesn't give what it's giving. That was way too many examples, but we'll see. I'm gonna choose this one regardless. That being said, let's go on to spin number 2. Spin number 2, we got read a book that matches the last book that you read, but it can't be the same series. It has to be like on vibes, colors, topics, things like that. And I'm really excited. The last book that I read was Remarkably Bright Creatures, and I am going to choose The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. Now, some of the colors overlap, but mostly the art style of the like people and the objects, they're very flat, they're very like 2D, and I feel like they're alike enough to be counted. Plus, I just really want to read this month. I've heard really good things about it. It is a romance about a shy bookworm enlisting her charming neighbor to help her score a date, not knowing he's the obscure author she's been corresponding with in this sparkling, heart-fluttering romance. Even just that little blurb sounds so cute. Done. Book number 2. Okay, spin number 3, we got a mood read, which is always welcome. I might be shooting myself in the foot with this one though. This month is a very vlog heavy month for me. Like a lot of the videos I'm gonna be posting or I have planned are vlogs. Oh no, that means that everything I pick should be for a reading vlog. This one might not be in a reading vlog, but I really want to read it. Okay, here's my problem. I am currently in the middle of The Starless Sea. It is a reread for me, but it was last month's book club pick, and our live show discussion is next week, so I'm rereading it, you know, so it's fresh. And I'm also obviously in the middle of House of Flame and Shadow, but since I already started these, I feel like I can't choose them. Can I? Like, I know it's my game, my rules, but that feels like cheating. It feels like cheating. And, oh, I have so many smart choices that I should make for this. Oh no, I'm so indecisive right now. There are 3 things outside of those that I've already started that I really want to choose for this prompt. And I don't know what's gonna happen later in the game, so I don't know what would be the best choice. What's even worse is none of these 3 books were planned, like were part of any sort of vlog. So I'm gonna lose either way, all right? Let me just show you. One of the options is 6 Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is the like 1.5 in in between the two books of the duet of the Crowns of Nyaxia. I didn't know this existed. Someone commented in my last video about how this exists and how I should read it before the second book. Thank you so much. I have it. Now I want to read it so that I can continue the series. It's very short. This would be a smart choice. Then I have Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I've heard that the emotions in this book are kind of similar to 7 Days in June, and that's one of my favorite romances of all time, so I am very inclined to pick this up. And then I started this book last month because I was gonna read it for the Reading Booktuber's Best Books video, but I didn't have time to finish it, and it is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Way. I only got to page 22, so like that doesn't even count as starting it. I would probably restart it anyways, but this was like 10 out of 10 in intrigue. Love the writing and story immediately, so like I really want to read this as well. And let me say that a lot of the books that I want to read this month or have to read this month are not fantasy. So maybe I will put this as my official pick on Spin the Bottle TBR, which is stupid because it's the longest one. Oh no. Screw it. I'm gonna put this one on the TBR. If either of these get read, I'll be happy and I just won't get a reward next month. That's, I guess, what'll happen. This is my official pick for now. God, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This is chaotic. Let's go into spin number 4. Spin number 4, we got Phone a Friend. I'm gonna go message a friend over on Instagram and see if she has a prompt or like a scavenger hunt style thing for me to choose a book for, and then I'll edit together. I'm gonna come back in a second once I have the prompt. Okay, hi, I messaged Noelle over at Noelle7Pages. She also has a YouTube channel. You should definitely go check her out. I love her and her content so much. And Noelle responded pretty quickly. Her prompt is find all of your owned unread rom-coms. Hey, Valentine's month. Read the acknowledgements of them and pick the one by the person that seems like you would most want to be friends with. So wholesome, adorable. I love this. Wait, I kind of love the dedication for Honey and Spice. I'll read some others just in case. I hate that I love this dedication. This is Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. I can't read this month. This might be read at some point in the future. Not now. The dedication to Twisted Love by Anna Huang is also pretty good. Don't ask questions. It is to my mom for all her support and encouragement over the years. Same. Mom, if you're reading this, turn back immediately. There are scenes in here that will scar you for life. Also same. Like whenever Caleb and I do a weird words, especially like our Ice Planet Barbarians video, like we specifically said, if you are family, turn away, like turn off this video. And no, she didn't. She watched the whole thing. But the problem is I don't know if these are considered rom-coms. Like I feel like they're a little bit more like contemporary romance, not necessarily a rom-com. So I messaged Noelle and I asked if she would accept it if it was still a rom, but not necessarily a com. And she said that she'll allow it. God bless. So it could be Twisted Love or Honey and Spice, but honestly, I just talked about how I wanted to choose this, so I'm gonna choose Honey and Spice. It's not for a video. This TBR is going to be a little bit insane. Okay, this is this author's debut novel, and it is centered on a young woman who has no interest in love and unexpectedly finds herself caught up in a fake relationship with the man that she warned her girls about. Wait, I actually didn't know that this was like a fake dating, fake relationship sort of thing. Huh, done. Twisted Love who? I'm so excited. We're gonna choose Honey and Spice. Final answer, locking it in. Shout out to Noelle for that prompt too. That was really fun. That was really cute. Now let's go on to spin number 5. Okay, spin number 5, we got a prompt that is read the debut novel of one of your favorite authors. This is one of my favorite prompts that has been submitted to me. I love this idea, but not for this month. Quite honestly, there is not one book that I have to or wanted previously to filming to read this month that would fit these parameters. And since I've already chosen a couple books that are not for videos and are just on top of whatever I already have to read this month for said videos, like I'm already a little bit screwed. So I don't want to keep adding more books that aren't part of my plan, you know? Okay, I love this prompt, but I'm going to deny this prompt. And now whenever I do this, that means I have to add another spin at the end of the game. So now I'm no longer doing 5 spins, I'm going to do 6 spins and just hope that I can make these extra spins work for my TBR. It's a gamble and we're gonna take the risk. So let's go try again for spin number 5. I should know by now that whenever I defy what the board wants me to do, it kicks me while I'm down. So now I'm gonna have to spin 7 times. So let's go try again for spin number 5. gotta be kidding me. Are you joking? You're joking, right? I don't think I've ever landed on that twice in a row. That is just so unbelievably rude. Okay, well, now we will be spinning 8 times. Cool. But the 5th spin prompt that we ended up getting, I can work with. And it is read a book from a haul that is 1 year or older. And for this prompt, I'm actually going to be choosing Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is very out of pocket for me, but trust the process. This says it's a novel of the plague, and I'm pretty sure that it is following Shakespeare and Shakespeare's family in that time. And besides that, there's nothing else I really know about it other than it's written beautifully. People seem to love it. And one of my goals this year was to read a wider variety of genres, and this is a historical fiction, so I'm going to choose this. Locked in. So now let's go on to spin number 6. Okay, we got a tarot pick. I'm nervous. If you're new here, the tarot spin means that I pick from the major arcana of this tarot deck that I have predetermined prompts for every single card. So let's shuffle this and put good vibes into this deck and hope to the tarot gods that the one that I choose will work for what I need. Okay, we got Emperor, which is number 4. And in this really old bullet journal, let's see what it is. Oh, okay. So this one is actually interesting. This one isn't even technically a reading prompt. I mean, it's a reading prompt, but it's not a book prompt. It is read a book in 24 hours because the Emperor card represents strength, leadership, and responsibility, energy, and courage. Interesting. So I don't know if past Sydney, when she made these prompts, was thinking like just pick a short book and then finish it in 24 hours, or if she meant that I could, you know, just read one of the books that I have to read this month in 24 hours. And I don't know who past Sydney is anymore, you know, like that's none of my business. I don't know who she was. She is no longer who I am. So I'm going to say that if I don't fulfill this prompt, that's okay. And as long as I finish one of these books in 24 hours, then I fulfilled it. I feel like that makes sense. But just to appease the people who might not like that, because I am a type 2 Enneagram at my core, I'll put a placeholder here as House Across the Lake by Rylee Sager. This is one, it's for some video that I'm doing. You'll have to wait and find out, but it's one of Rylee Sager's thrillers. All he does is thrillers. That wasn't a really insightful comment, was it? I believe it's almost like a woman in the window sort of thing where the setting is this lake house and someone sees something happen inside a house across the lake. The thriller ensues where they weren't supposed to see that. It's gotten mixed reviews. We're gonna read it this month and figure out if it's my cup of tea. This spin doesn't necessarily have to be counted for anything, but I will put that book here and then try to read it in 24 hours, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. Technically though, that's a free space almost. So now we have 2 more spins to do because we landed on the +1 bottle space freaking twice. So let's go to spin number 7. Spin number 7, we got read one of your most recent purchases, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited that I get to put this on my TBR. I'm going to be reading The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. This one was specifically recommended to me by one of my friends who is one of the owners of my favorite independent bookstore in the city, and he had just said like, have you read this book? And I was like, no, I haven't even heard about it, and he told me about it. I bought it. Here we are. This book is set in 1972, and when people were digging foundations for a new housing development, the last thing they expected to uncover was a human skeleton. Who the skeleton was and how it got buried there are just 2 of the long-held secrets that had been kept for decades by the residents of Chicken Hill, the dilapidated neighborhood where immigrant Jews and African Americans lived side by side, sharing ambitions and sorrows. As the novel unfolds, it becomes clear how much the people of Chicken Hill have to struggle to survive at the margins of white Christian America and how damaging margins... Juno just threw up on our bedspread. It's going really well over here. But... how the people of Chicken Hill have been struggling to survive and how damaging bigotry, hypocrisy, and deceit can be to a community. And again, when you get a recommendation from a bookseller, you know that it's a good one. So this is for sure a lock-in for this TBR. So let's go spin for hopefully our last spin, which is spin number 8. Okay, spin number 8 we can work with. It is Read a Book with Blue on the cover. Whew, we got out. We're getting out of here. The book that I'm choosing is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I've seen this one going around. I've heard good things, and I love this cover a lot. Apparently this book is a Knives Out and Clue meet Agatha Christie and the Thursday Murder Club, which is all very fun. And it is a fresh take on the locked room mystery, a brilliant homage to the golden age of crime fiction, and will keep you guessing until the end. I'm excited to try this one out because I don't know if I'm like a mystery girly. I don't know if I have the patience for mystery books. But again, I've heard such good things about it, so I'm inclined to think that I could have a good time with it. Time will tell, but I'm excited. Okay, good grief. Can we be done? That's it. That's the end of the game. We are done playing. Now keep in mind that I still have to finish these 2 chunkers before I could even start on all of those other books that I just spun for. And it's already February 2nd, and it's a really short month. So I don't know, guys. We'll see how it goes. In theory, this stack is smaller than the stack that I read last month, because the stack I read last month, there were a lot of really thick books. So like that's promising that I feel like I could do this. It's just a matter of if I have time, you know what I'm saying? Between editing and filming and doing everything else that I have planned for this month. So that's the game. Let us draw from our greenhouse compendium jar really quickly. If you don't know what that is, it is a jar that I draw from every single month. All the pieces of paper inside are recommendations to me from my patrons, and they have the power to choose 2 books from my physical TBR for me to read. And it usually gets joined in the monthly exclusive reading vlog that they get from the Buddy Read Pick as well, if you remember from earlier. So let us choose a book from here. I'm gonna keep this recording. I'm gonna keep it going. And we're just going to really hope for a short book or one that can work with what I got going on. I got a couple. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about this. Am I mad about this? Okay. Okay, I'm actually quite excited about it. It is thick. It's almost 500 pages. This one was recommended by Kirsten as well as Heather, because Heather is who gifted this to me. Okay. We're reading Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. I love how this sounds. I've been told that it's absolutely hilarious. The tagline, "The boys are back in town," like I love that. This is part of a series, but I think every book in the series called The Band is a standalone. Like each one can be read by itself, which is really great. I love that idea. This one is about this group of older men who used to be in this band of mercenaries, but their glory days long past. The mercs have grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, or a combination of the 3. Then an ex-bandmate turns up at Clay's door with a plea for help, the kind of mission that only the very brave or the very stupid would sign up for. I think it's like a one final mission sort of vibe, you know what I'm saying? And I've been told that it's hilarious and I could use some humor. I could use some humor. So this is good. I feel good about it. Yeah, I feel good about it. Okay, that's really exciting, but now look at this stack, okay? Look at this stack. Now it's like rivaling last month's, and this isn't even including that like 6th spin where like read it in 24 hours. Like, I don't know. I might not include House Across the Lake on this TBR, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It might not matter. I might not be able to even read all of these. We'll see. But that's it. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. Let me know down below if you have any guesses for what videos I might be doing this month based on a couple of the choices or books that I have mentioned in this video. Because wow, yeah, there are a couple others that I didn't even tell you that I am reading this month for videos, but I'm not going to tell you because then it would be kind of obvious. So I digress. If you don't have anything else to say, then leave me the honey emoji down below in the comments. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.